you own an older fiberglass boat, you are likely to experience the challenges of how to replace old instruments with new ones. Often, the old instrument cutouts are larger than the new instruments. You could cut and fit a piece of wood over the old holes. However, the wood changes the lines of the cockpit, you're limited to placing the new instruments in the same place as the old, and the new instruments will stick into the cockpit, exposing them to the risk of damage. Also, this adds another piece of bright work, which means less time sailing and more time sanding and varnishing. You could use plastic instead of wood, but it looks even worse and is even more likely to leak. With about the same time, money, and effort, you can return the cockpit bulkhead to its original condition. Working with fiberglass cloth and epoxy resins is easy, quick, and results in superior looking, stronger, and watertight repair. If you've never done any fiberglass work before, this is a good first project. We hope that watching this video will give you the knowledge and confidence to undertake this fun and rewarding project. Here we have all of the stuff that we're going to need for this project. We've got a hard wax for our release agent that we're going to put on our acrylic form. We've got some fairing compound. You could make your own up using West System epoxy and some microballoon fairing compound. West System epoxy, some mixie cups, gloves, a chip brush, paint spreader, paper towels, common household white vinegar, which is the best thing going for cleaning up epoxy before it has kick. And we also have a layout board. It's just a piece of wood that we've put some tin foil over, and our fiberglass pre-cut ready to go to fill the holes. We're also going to need a piece of smooth plastic large enough to cover the outside of the entire area that we're filling. This is going to act as a form and allow us to lay up smooth glass from the inside. In this case, we're using a piece of scrap acrylic. Using a razor blade and acetone, make sure the outside of the bulkhead is clean. Place the form over the area to be repaired. Select the location for the attachment screws. The exact location is not critical. Allow plenty of room on the bulkhead around the fasteners. And drill first with a larger size drill through the acrylic. Select the correct size pilot drill for the screws you are using. Position the form. Using the form as a template, drill the first pilot hole in the fiberglass bulkhead. Installing a fastener in this first hole will hold the form and make drilling the other holes easier and more accurate. Once you've drilled all 4 holes, remove the fastener and the form from the boat. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take some standard paste wax here, and we're going to wax the side that goes next to the boat of our form. We're just going to apply a thick coat of wax using the pad that came with the wax. Reattach the form, and we're ready to start glassing. We are on the inside of the boat looking out to and through our form. Here we're using a commercially available marine epoxy filler. You could also make your own out of epoxy and micro balloons. Mix well, following the manufacturer's instructions. Apply the filler to the inside of the hole and against the form. We're not trying to fill the hole, we're just trying to create a fairable surface about 1/8 of an inch thick against our form. Don't worry if the fairing compound isn't smooth at this stage. Next we'll need our epoxy supplies, our pre-cut glass, and our wet out board. Mix your epoxy well. Incompletely mixed epoxy can lead to problems later. Pour a small amount of epoxy into the center of one of your pre-cut fiberglass cloth discs. Work the epoxy in using the paint spreader until the glass cloth becomes transparent. Gently remove the epoxy saturated cloth disc from the layout board and place it over the filler in the hole. Gently massage the first layer of glass into the fairing compound to eliminate any holes that may be between the fairing compound and the glass. We want a uniform coating of fairing compound between that first layer of glass and the form. Repeat the process of wetting out the glass discs and applying them over the previous layer at least 3 more times with 10-ounce cloth. For the final 2 layers of fiberglass cloth, wet out in place as large as reasonable rectangles over the filled holes. These large rectangles will tie the repairs to each other and the bulkhead, giving your repair added strength. Once all the layers are in place, Allow the epoxy to completely kick, preferably overnight. Once the epoxy is kicked, remove the outside form, fill the 4 screw holes from the outside, lightly block sand the area by hand. The final steps in our project are to coat the areas where we've filled with unthickened epoxy. Let that epoxy kick, and then sand the area in preparation for painting. You're now ready to make a clean install of your new instruments in any position that you may like. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please come visit us at www.realworldcruising.com, where our goal is to get you off the dock.